This is the CHRILLCAST. I'm Chris.
And I'm Billy.
And I'm Covenant Canon.
You want to tell everybody about yourself, Covenant Canon?
Yes. I'm a channel that's based on Covenant aspects within the Halo games, from culture, technology, and history.
And it's a really, really cool channel if you want to see a deep dive into the Covenant side of the Halo story. Billy, why don't you tell everybody who you are since you're not Will?
I am indeed not Will. I am Billy. I run VISNAWesome on YouTube. We make I make videos about gameplays, but I take out all the breathing and all the craziness and add a lot more comedy to it to, a lot more editing. So it's not just your normal gameplay videos, but we're transitioning like the cool channel, like one of the fun ones. Where we are actually doing comics now, and we started our own podcast called Crisis Comics and Cameos that me and my boy Justin have started, and we're trying to get some guests on there to have some fun. But we just talk about all the upcoming comic news. We talk about we just covered a bunch of Robert Pattinson's unfortunate transition into Batman and a bunch of other cool stuff going on, man.
Very cool, very cool. And if you guys don't recognize Billy, he's been on this channel like 4 times now, so
beating you, D-Dub. I want you to know, DW, I'm out for you.
The unofficial third guest of the CHRILLCAST. Anyways, so we're here to discuss today for Throwback Thursday the Marathon Trilogy, and I'll tell you why in a second, because it's not going to line up. Whoops, that's just any random marathon.
Click the first one. That's Marathon.
26.3 miles. No, definitely not gonna review a marathon because I probably can't run one right now. Anyways, so for our Thursday episode, we're gonna be talking about. I passed it. Here we go. The Marathon Trilogy, and the reason why is because in 2020 we're hitting the 15-year anniversary from when Bungie authorized the release of the full original Mac OS trilogy for free distribution online, which eventually led to it being playable with LF1 on Mac, Linux, and Windows for free. It's the most free thing that Bungie has ever released. Available, like I said before, via LF1 on Mac OS, Linux, and Windows. And actually, it was originally made available on the App Store on July. I almost said June. That's why I said July. July 7th, 2011, by a major fan of the Marathon Trilogy. It was running off. The guy literally ported the LF1 engine, which is how they ran Marathon on these different platforms, to iOS, which is insane in 2011. I mean, it was very difficult to find any kind of engine that was translatable from Mac, Windows, and Linux to iOS in 2011, because that's like pre-64-bit iOS in the first place. Anyways, despite that, on December 1st, 2011, after 12 years of development, the LF1 team released version 1.0, which was able to be downloaded for free on Mac, PC, and Linux. So originally it was made free by Bungie in 2005, and by 2011 it was available on lots of platforms. So what I want to talk about today is, what are some similarities between Halo and Marathon? And I know one thing was pointed out by Covenant Canon when we were discussing this. What was that?
The symbol on the box, it's pretty much 343 Guilty Sparks eye.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's a lot of people that have delved into that theory that Bungie was originally gearing up to make Halo a spiritual sequel to Marathon. And I think it almost is true. Because if you look at the levels in Marathon, here I'll pull up a gameplay, a let's play of it. Here we go. That symbol right there, that's the one you like, oh, is this going to not change at all? Oh, episode 0, he's just talking about it. Alright, hold on. So shout out to Effing Controller, that's the name of this channel. We're going to use your content to kind of talk about Marathon. So if you look at just the imagery here, does that remind you of like kind of the ship design in some of the Halo games?
Yeah.
It's definitely, I would say, not 100% true, but definitely true that Bungie was inspired from the Marathon games when they created Halo. They probably moved on from this though, because this was a Apple exclusive product in a time when Doom was a PC exclusive product. So Mac wanted their Doom, and this is what they came up with.
It's a good point. I mean, it's a good like substitute. I think it looks good.
Actually, it was considered the superior first-person shooter / combat game over Doom by many Mac users. If you go back through like old forums, which I did, you can see a lot of people saying like, "Who needs Doom when we have this?" Which is really funny.
I can never remember who made Doom, but if you're ever watching this podcast,
Software.
Good. Well, the guy who runs that, I can never think of the man who runs that. But
I can't think of the name either.
If he ever watches this, I hope you know that Marathon was just a little better than Doom, because I followed your story, man. I'm happy.
Wait, which way do you want to say it?
Marathon's better than Doom.
Okay, I just want to make sure that you said it the right way. Because you've been known to say things the wrong way before.
I know. Listen, I gotta make it perfectly clear. I gotta throw shade at him, but that's okay.
There you go. Okay, so based upon the Marathon Trilogy existing, and I think they actually did terminals in the Marathon Trilogy, but some funny things that I've come up with throughout the Marathon Trilogy story is, for one, you've got this lone wolf fighting off an entire like alien race on the ship, right? That sounds a lot like Halo. On top of that, they have all these like AIs. The Marathon Trilogy is full of AIs trying to do different things. And I know Halo canon, the canon of Halo, there's a lot of AIs taking over like old Spartan suits or doing various things. Like I remember there's one specific that Halo canon mentioned during our interview. It was like a detective mystery type book where a rogue AI took over a Spartan's suit, and nobody knew it. They thought the Spartan was a murderer, and really it was the AI within the suit that was the murderer. Well, stuff like that actually happens in the Marathon Trilogy, which is where I think some of the inspiration for some of these stories has come from over the years. Because the Marathon Trilogy is a lot more intricate than people gave it credit for when it first came out, because it was just a first-person shooter, right? Nobody looked at the story in the 90s and said, man, I want to know more about that. It's only been more modern-day gaming. People have really delved into the lore of games more so than they did back then. And this is a game that has some pretty deep and intense lore when you read through what they've done with it. There's a massive fan base for this game now. It didn't exist as much way back when this game first released, but over the years and people developing the open source platform and engine for it, it has really expanded. So I want to talk about kind of like Bungie created this, but they also created what other franchise?
Call of Duty?
Yeah, sure. Pathways into Darkness. No, I'm just kidding. That is another one by them. It was actually the pre-marathon game, the only one pre-marathon that they made. After that, it was Halo, and then following that, they did obviously Destiny. So Bungie, I want to talk about the creativity of Bungie. Do you guys think that each game is kind of an iteration of their creativity as they go forward, or do you think they can actually move on from one game to the next without taking some elements with them?
I am a huge Destiny fan. Like, legitimately, if we ever do an episode, if you guys ever do one, I will join you for Destiny. But Destiny, yeah, if you ever played Destiny, you can wholeheartedly see that a lot of their creativity was taken from Halo. And even like while looking at Marathon, like a lot of the stuff, even story elements, have definitely evolved from their storytelling aspects, in my opinion, at least.
I could definitely see from gameplay. I personally don't play Destiny, but from what I've seen from the gameplay of both Destiny and Destiny 2, that definitely is heavily inspired by Halo.
How about from Marathon, from what you're seeing here? Do you think that there was definitely some carryover from this to Halo?
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. In terms of the design of the environment, the gameplay, it definitely mirrors that of Halo CE.
Mm-hmm.
So just as like a closing topic, just the last piece here, what do you think the lasting impact, provided that 343 never retcons Bungie out of it, what do you think the lasting impact of Bungie on Halo? What's the lasting impact? What's it going to be?
I'll let Covenant, you can go first. I'm going to think about this for a second.
That is actually a good question. I would say it's unique multiplayer. I think with Halo 3 was very well received because of its multiplayer more than its story. People, like, it was universally praised for its multiplayer, honestly, and I think that will leave a lasting impact for people who say that they're true Halo fans. That they're more dedicated to Bungie because Bungie was more had a lot to do with the multiplayer and poured everything into it, which made it so popular today.
I agree with that. I tack on to what Covenant said. Like, one of the biggest things that like me and a lot of people talk about, at least when we bring up Halo, the multiplayer is awesome, but like the Forge and the custom games are one of the biggest things that, like, whenever I think of Halo, or like any time I ever think of Bungie, like, they did it right. Halo 4 and so on and so forth, like it just never translated the same from those games. And honestly, I mean, I can think of 10 million awesome creations that people have made just through Forge, like when Bungie was at the helm. So in my opinion, like, yeah, you're dead right. Multiplayer was amazing.
I'm going to take this a little different. I think actually one of the most iconic things for Halo that came from the Bungie era was the music.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I have never played a first-person shooter in which the opening intro to the title load screen was at almost like a monk choir singing. There's no other game like that. There's no other game like that. And going from that to the Halo theme Mjolnir mix with the guitar riff in Halo 2 was like awe-inspiring, and I felt like I was really ready to drive the Covenant out of the planet Earth. I was like, yeah, let's do this. Then you go to Halo 3, and that piano note, that ding, and it's like, whoa, do do do. It's like, woo, man, I'm feeling this right now. I got the chills. But
oh man, Chris, I agree with you, man. That their orchestra, their composed music is fantastic.
I don't think anybody can outdo Marty O'Donnell.
No,
that guy is a legend. And Marty, if you ever watch any of our videos, come on the podcast. Would make mine and Will's whole year, because I am a massive music lover, and your music is some of the best. You guys have any closing thoughts on Marathon?
I definitely want. I would love to play it. I'd love to get that whatever collector's edition he had in that. Like, already caught my eye as soon as he started the video up. So I'm probably gonna either look into it or buy it when we end this video.
It'll only play on Mac.
I will buy a Mac, Chris. I will go out of my way.
What do you got, Covenant? Anything?
I would be interested in playing it, honestly.
It's free.
Unfortunately, I'm too cheap to afford a Mac, honestly. But
no, you can get this for free for Windows because of that open source thing we talked about earlier. I could send you a link if you're interested.
Okay.
It's completely free. I downloaded it. I actually started to do a Let's Play and then decided I wasn't going to do Let's Plays at the time.
In that case, I might look into it whenever I have the free time with all my work and gym and all that jazz. So.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out because it shows you the kind of the origins of Bungie. But as always, I'm Chris.
And I'm Billy.
And I'm Covenant Canon.
And we will see you
on the next CHRILLCAST.
It never gets better, Billy.